And CJ McDonald's the founder of Herdmark.
Okay.
Are you ready to roll?
Yep. Just
Herdmark.
actually, let me. I don't want to be looking around behind me, so I'm gonna. It's on extension. Sorry about that. Okay. I'm CJ McDonald, and I'm here with Herdmark. Herdmark is a tool for managing bookmarks in teams of workers, teams of people who work together, generally people who work together. So I want to thank Miles for setting this up, and the live stream and everything is really great. I think my kids might be watching right now. How many people around here have emailed or posted on Facebook a link that you wanted other people who you're working with to use or to know about? And how many times have you had trouble when you've known that there was a link that was emailed to you or talked about it, but couldn't find it, or were digging through email for some amount of time? Anybody had that kind of experience? Yeah? So what about this one? How about people who have started in a new position or taken over a job or something like that, and wanted to know how the people who were there before got the information and knew what to do and where to go to get that? Anybody? And so sometimes, you get information. There's lots of ways that information is shared around, and sometimes you get it, through kind of knowledge just talking to people, and other times it's a bunch of emailing around, and it's kind of surprising that after all these years, it fundamentally remains a process of emailing links around. That's the essential impetus behind what we're doing. What we wanted to do was to deal with, all the vast quantities of domain knowledge in a group of people who work together, and keep it available to everybody and permanent in the organization and not moving around with people, and try to absorb some of the time that you waste trying to figure out where things are that other people have used. Now, obviously, you can search for things in Google, but there's also, in corporate environments, there's a lot of stuff that's procedural and not relevant and not really solved by these kinds of tools. So we found that there was no real good way to share bookmarks with your team. I mean, there are bookmarking tools, and there are collaborative tools, but there aren't really bookmarking tools for teams. So that's what we set out to build. So I'll just get in there and show the actual app. It's very straightforward. When you go to join Herdmark, the way it works now is you authenticate based on your domain. So if you are at yourcompany.com and you sign up, somebody else comes in the same domain and authenticates with them, and you both automatically join together. Now you can invite them, of course, but the premise is around the idea of a domain and the sort of instant authentication, and also zero management of the administration of who's in control of this. And this extends into how it works. So in my domain here, I have a bunch of groups, and in each one of these groups there are bookmarks. And what's interesting about the bookmarks is that we had to start thinking about how is it that you deal with deleting a bookmark, because you can't just delete it because somebody else might be expecting it. So what we came up with was a way to delete a bookmark with a delay. Essentially, it's like a trash can that is sort of more active than a normal trash can, and somebody else could come back and undelete something, and that was how we wanted to deal with that. We also developed a tagging mechanism, and I've never been a huge fan of tags, but they're kind of weirdly coming back. with hashtags. It's actually interesting in my mind that tagging is something that is sort of, I always thought it was a little bit not fantastic, but I'm quite pleased with how tagging is evolving, to be honest. So let me show you how, the real thing I want to show is what it's like to use Herdmark when you're not on our site. So we have a thing called a bookmarklet, which people probably have used. And if you're on a given website, you can go to our bookmarklet and you can add your bookmark to the groups that you want to add to. And then what it does is it drops in the tags that it searches for based on an external service. This is how we want to deal with the tagging problem. In my mind, tagging is time consuming. And so if we go back to the bookmarking tool, I'll make sure that we see that the bookmark appears here, and then other people can see it in this group, and then I can share this group to other people and create groups, and that's basically the whole thing.
All right. CJ, you ready? Ready for some questions?
Sure.
Okay, this is a challenge for the MBA students. I want to hear some smart damn questions right now from you people. Let's go. Hands up high.
And my Spanish sucks too.
CJ, tell me a little bit about who are your best clients?
Well, we've found that people coming in, we've found some Fortune 500 companies are coming in and trying it out, and little companies. Design firms seem to have a lot of interest in it because they work collaboratively with their clients, and they want to work amongst themselves, and then, creative firms. But we're seeing a wide spectrum of companies come in and sign up based on the emails coming in, the domains. Yeah, go ahead.
When I approach the question of how do you have like a shared knowledge base for a team, the first thing I think of is, well, have a wiki so that you can have a whole knowledge base that team needs to know about. And a wiki, you can include links, within any wiki article. So where is the niche for this in a world in which, there's already things like wikis and so on?
I love wikis and I think they're great. I guess the niche would be for sort of quicker, more flowing kind of. You don't have to go to the wiki to add anything, add a bookmark to it. It's interesting. It's an interesting point. And if you had a wiki, it might be interesting to have a group who's in the wiki, have an area in the wiki, and the bookmarks that go into the system go out back to your wiki. And one of the things that is important to us is that people can get their data in and out of our system. We don't believe that the bookmarks belong to us. We think that corporate knowledge belongs to the organization that we're using it. So, not to dance around your question, but I would say that if wikis are something that's working really well in an organization, you could draw in more people who weren't familiar with or didn't use the wiki a lot, but still had a lot of operational knowledge in the organization. And they could quickly add bookmarks that might appear on the wiki and other people would get access to. So in my opinion, it could be a way of strengthening a wiki, although we haven't built that yet.
Is this kind of functionality found in most collaboration applications?
It is. It is. Absolutely. And that's... But generally speaking, bookmarks are they're kind of like second-class citizens in most of these tools, to my experience so far. Other stuff is more important. So we just wanted to make something that was completely focused around bookmarks, the same way Delicious is focused around bookmarks, and be a good tool for that, and make it really easy to add one without worrying about the rest of the system. Now, I was just talking to the Evernote guys, and to extend Evernote to do this kind of thing, I think would be great. And we were talking about whether or not the API would make some sense to plug it in. I hadn't thought of that, but I think that would be really nice as a way to add on to a larger system. Might be a great way to go.
Thanks. And in terms of a revenue model, how are you using a freemium model, or how are you getting paid for this?
We don't care about where we make money at this point. I mean, it's of absolutely no concern to us. We just want to build a system, get it working. I mean, a subscription might be good, freemium might be good, ads might be good. I don't really care, to be honest.
CJ, you have a big bank account.
It's just, I mean, come on. I mean, it's not that expensive to make I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but I suppose, but it's just more fun to build a product.
Right on.
If lots of people use it and it's useful, there'll be a way to make money. I mean, I don't know. I think it's overrated, the whole making money thing.
Very nice. I think we can all go home now. Forget it.
No offense to anybody
The
who's
dream
making
is
lots
dead.
of money.
Just
That's
go
great.
home, go to sleep.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Right on. Okay, 7 more seconds. Anybody quick for CJ? Okay. Good stuff.
Thank you very much.
you.